Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video. I'm just going over what build that I'm using to farm EN06. I feel like a lot of the builds that I've watched lately, they're very misleading. You know, they tell you that you're going to get these crazy damage numbers, and they don't tell you that they're using like 3 bobbleheads, 5 magazines, and like 10 chems or whatever. But this is a build that I use. This is pretty stiff requirements for some of the weapons and the armor, but it is very consistent for me, and I really don't ever use any chems or any bobbleheads or any magazines. I like to save those up and sell them and use them on caps and just kind of work on getting mods. I farm mods on here and stuff like that. So I just figured I would kind of share it with people just so that, you know, they don't get baited into like, oh, I'm doing 9,000 a shot and stuff like that. But I'm using a full set of Hellcat power armor, troubleshooters. I'm using a Peppershaker with a Vampire's Gatling plasma. These are all my effects. As you can see, I have, you know, no bobbleheads, no magazines, no chems of any kind. But yeah, I'll just do a run through and then I'll go over the build. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this guy's shield down. This is probably the most annoying part about farming this guy to begin with. You know, just spam your super stims. You know, just the only reason why I use this Gatling plasma is because, you know, I have extra ultracite plasma cores laying around and stuff. So I almost got this guy's shield down for the most part. So I'm gonna go ahead and stem, and I'll switch. You're going to want to crouch, and then you're going to want to aim, shoot at this guy. And pretty much that's it. Just empty your whole mag into him, and you'll pretty much shred him. You know, I'm not using any chems or anything like that. Anything like that is just going to help you. If you're on a team, it's going to help you a lot. But I'm melting him. I'm not even going to use this full magazine on him. So, yeah, you're going to do pretty good damage. He's already dead. Minute 26 seconds. That's not bad for no chems, no team, you know, no bobbleheads or magazines. So as you can see, you get some pretty good stuff, you know, from farming this guy. So that's why it's like the main thing to do right now. You get really good mods from him. I mean, not all the time, but for the most part, you're going to be getting some good stuff. So I'll go over right now, starting with my special right here. I have 9 strength, 13 perception, 5 endurance, 3 charisma, 6 intelligence, 10 agility, 10 luck. You guys can go ahead and copy that. And for my perk cards, these are all the perk cards that I'm using. I'm using bringing the big guns, shotgun champ, easy target, bullet storm, scatter shot for strength. And you can pretty much just copy all the rest of them. I'll leave it up right now for a little bit. Just try your best to copy this all the way down to a T. As far as the legendary perk cards, legendary luck, legendary agility, legendary endurance, legendary strength, that's what I'm using. And the 2 that you're going to want to prioritize are your follow through and taking one for the team. I don't even have taking one for the team leveled up all the way, but as you can see, I'm solo right now and I'm still doing pretty good damage. So this, you know, you don't even necessarily have to use this if you don't want to. But follow through is pretty much the main thing that you're going to want to focus on. Taking one for the team, like I said, is just, it's better if you're on a team, even if you're on just a casual team and you have people on to kind of boost your intelligence and just make this perk card a little bit more useful for you. But yeah, as far as everything else, just copy it. The ones that you can kind of get away with moving around would be, you know, Iron Stomach, Through Hiker. You don't really need those, you know, if you don't want to, if you want to allocate your points to something else. But you really want to prioritize Covert Operative and Escape Artist because we're trying to take advantage of that sneak damage. You know, that's the good thing about EN06 is that when he's, you know, unshielded, he doesn't know what the hell is going on. You can just pretty much shoot as much as you want, as fast as you can, you know, to melt him. But other than that, my power armor, I think I told you about it already. It's a full set of Hellcat power armor. This is just an internal database. Hellcat helmet, I have troubleshooters on every single piece. That's the main thing that I can tell you that you're going to want. You're going to want a full troubleshooters set in order for that survivability. I haven't used anything but this, so I can't say if you can get away with a little bit less. For the most part, I have intelligence on every single piece, I think, except for the chest. I have powered on it, which I just have that for action point regen. If you notice, I didn't even use VATS that whole time, so it doesn't really matter. If you use VATS, it's only going to help you out. But I have intelligence, troubleshooters, you know, sentinels, and then I have limit breaking, but again, it's not necessarily something that you need. It's just what you have available to you guys. Yeah, so there's that. As far as the weapons, you know, the requirements are pretty high for the power armor as it is, but they're even high for your weapon. But like I said, I'm just throwing this stuff out there. This is what I use so that maybe somebody can just focus on getting this stuff instead of focusing on something else and then getting a bunch of bobbleheads and then getting a bunch of magazines. I'm just doing this so that, you know, if somebody wants to focus on getting pinpointers, intelligence, rapid, and quad and putting it on a Peppershaker and then just being like, yeah, I can farm this guy now, instead of like going and trying to buy all this other stuff that, you know, you require for these other builds. So, you know, like I said, quad, rapid, intelligence, pinpointers, you can kind of get away with not using intelligence, but I like to have it for the extra damage because of your science perk card. You do more damage based off of your intelligence, which is why I have it on a lot of my power armor as well. So just kind of try to stack up as much intelligence as possible, because it's going to help you with your XP gains too. But yeah, so I have a hex barrel and a plasma magazine on it. So that's pretty much what I use. You know, gunner sight, you know, the paint obviously doesn't matter. I'm just that, and then I just use this Vampire's Prime Gatling plasma. You know, like I said, I have ultra sight, plasma cores laying around, so I just kind of use it whatever. Nothing crazy, just standard barrel, center core. You know, it doesn't even have to really be inertial or perception. Just vampires, anything is fine. So you can pretty much just stand there and tank it and just spam your stim packs if you want to. So it's not really a requirement. Yeah, but for the most part, that's what I use. I think I already went over everything. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll do one more run. I'll just reset my checkpoint right here. I'll leave this quest. But yeah, I just felt kind of like making this video just because I've seen so many people, you know, posting comments like, oh, I can't get good damage because, you know, I copied this YouTuber's build all the way down to a T, and like, you know, I'm just not getting the damage numbers. And it's because, you know, like I said, some of these YouTubers they're using a bunch of bobbleheads, magazines, chems, just food, all kinds of buffs that sometimes they don't even tell you guys. They bait you in with like this crazy damage, and then they pretty much get you to build this whole thing up, and then you're not getting the damage numbers because of whatever. So you're over here building power armor for like, you know, this build, and then you can't even get it unless you have like, oh, you know, energy gun damage bobbleheads or critical damage bobbleheads and stuff like that. So I just figured I would just throw my build out there, you know, just in case anybody wants to try to shoot for it. You know, it's been pretty consistent. As you can see right here, it only gets better if you're on a team. It only gets better if you throw on a Berry Mentats, you know. Berry Mentats is like a pretty one and done chem. So like, I'll just pop one like every 2 or 3 runs, you know, but it's not even necessarily something that you need. So yeah, you can pretty much get away with doing this build, and you'll do pretty good damage. You know, I won't even use this gun. I'll just stay on my Peppershakers and show you that you can pretty much tank this guy's attacks just by spamming your super stims, you know. Just keep spamming them, and you'll pretty much stay alive. It does. I feel like it takes a little bit longer to get his shield down if you don't shoot at him. I don't know. That's usually the reason why I shoot at him sometimes, but you know, I kind of want to make my rounds as fast as possible. But obviously right here, yeah, I'm just gonna shoot at him because like I feel like it's taking. So I'll just take this guy's shield down. When it gets kind of like to like a little bit less, I'll just kind of switch back. You know, 'cause sometimes it sneaks up on you. You know, the shield is on, and you don't have your gun ready or anything like that. But, yeah. We'll just go ahead and get ready. Oh my god, this guy's shield is so annoying, bro. Dude, is this guy like drunk? Shoot at me, man. Alright, here we go. So we're gonna crouch and then start shooting. Crouch and then start shooting. And just freaking just shoot your whole freaking mag into him, bro. Look how long we're already at like 2 minutes, man. Damn shield in the beginning. But as you can see right here, you know, you're just gonna take his whole freaking health bar down, and we've still got like about 18 shots left. And then there you go, right there. You know, you don't have to freaking keep trying to go for these crazy YouTube builds or anything like that. I mean, this is kind of a crazy YouTube build as it is, but this is just to save you guys some time, you know, so that you don't get misled or anything like that. But that's pretty much it. I mean, if it doesn't work for you, I have no idea, because it only gets better with teams, chems, and all that other stuff. So but yeah, I hope you guys have a good time farming. Hopefully you guys can pull this build off, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll probably be clowned a little bit for this, but hey man, it's my first video. I'm just trying. Come on, man.